Welcome back to Turner Tools, EdTech tips and tricks to help you work smarter, not harder. All right, we're going to be talking about question types. And so I thought a first place to start would be to show you what they actually look like in real time. And then we'll go through each of the questions. Choice, number, website, draw, and draggable. Those draw and draggable items, those are going to be the ones that are going to be the premium items, but you all should have access to that, so you should be good to go. So the first one that we're going to talk about is the draggable questions. So what it looks like is it allows the student to actually drag the items on the screen to the correct item on the screen. So in real time, you're able to see that. So I'm going to show responses on this one so you can actually see it in real time. So the only challenge with this one is that students are going to do exactly what I'm doing right now, which is playing with those items. So after I've given them enough time to think about their selection, I will lock the screen, and that makes it so that the students can't keep moving all those items around when I'm trying to check to see if everyone is with us. So another one could be to drag the flag to our state. And so I can, again, that's just another way to drag things around. Another way might be to drag this line. Drag the icon on the scale as to where they are feeling today. So that can help us check in with students that might be having a rough day today, or give them the space and time that they need. This one's another draggable. And then we can immediately see, and you'll notice that when I show all of the answers, there isn't a name attached to it. So in this view, no names would be attached. So you could show the entire class's responses without names. All right, and there's also a graphing, and you might not be able to see this quite clearly, but there actually is graph paper here that the students can use to graph their answer. So that is a drawing one. All right, another drag the dot one. And again, another drag. So it's either an icon or a dot or dragging it along a line. Those are going to be pretty consistent in how those look. Then we also, in the draggable, you could drag more than one item. So maybe you have a list of events in social studies, or a book, or science, or really anything. It could be, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, which is the order of operations for math. It could be whatever you want it to be, but you could have them drag those numbers over to put those events in chronological order. So that's another way that you can use that drag function. Again, this is actually a template, but these are just text. It's just text that is written on this slide. And then we're just adding that interactive component. All right, you saw a little sneak peek because I had it out of order of a drawing one. But this is another type of drawing one, and it's actually draw a line. So it's draw that line to the correct response. So for matching. So this is great for languages. And you'll notice that the drawing feature has this drawing palette down below that they're able to either use a pencil, a highlighter, a line, text, or an eraser. So if I use that pencil, I can put those dots on there wherever they might be, and then you can see that in real time. So you would see each person's response, either one-to-one, or this will kind of have them all laid out all next to each other. So that is a good option for you. And again, this is another one with I can't say that word today, but the order of different dates. And so you can actually have them draw lines to put the events in chronological order. And so that's one's another drawing one. For English, we could have them type in, so they can actually click on the T and they can actually type in there. And so it'll just bring up this little type box. And then it will actually appear right there, and so they can actually type into a little graphic organizer. So that's another, but they can also draw it. So it's like 2 for 1. That's I like the drawing slides because it gives options for the way the student might want to utilize the computer for that. Again, this also works on iPad as well. So the drawing feature would work really well on that iPad for me, but you know, the students, they have no problem with those trackpads. Some of the stuff that students have done in creating artwork on trackpads definitely leaves me in the dust. So they can also draw a picture. So that's just a complete picture, have all their colors, and do that way. And then this one's another ELA one. This is to draw or type your thoughts on the topic in the head. So this really gives some cool options as to the creativity that you can use on the slide that you're having the student use. This one's for the littles. This one is actually a really cool one to use for K through 2. So we have different options from like high school level, but also for the littles as well. You can also have them do text in different places. All right, so we can do that. So we're just going to maximize that out. And so they might put number 1 if they would have to write a response to that, number 2 and number 3 if they had to do a response for each one. So we can do it that way. All right, so number slides. So you can actually have the response have to be a number. So this is estimation, so this is for math. So maybe they write that. And then we can see the responses, and it's going to give us it on a number line. So that's really interesting to talk about those number lines with students and that estimation and all of those items. So great way to actually visualize the answers. All right, so you can also embed a website. So this one, it's actually just going to have the students click on this link and go and open up a new tab. This one is going to have you actually go to Kahoot. And so I click on it, and then there is the Kahoot screen, and I can put in that game code, and I'm immediately in.
Here are some great sites to embed in a Peardeck. Here's the way that you can make sure that your embed is going to work. If you go in and you click on the www button, then you paste your HTTPS website, you can see exactly what it'll look like for the students. So make sure that you can see it, and then you're good to go. Google Docs is a really great choice to use in Peardeck because you can make that document editable for all students, and then they'll be able to collaborate right on that slide deck. Another great option is a Google form that you can embed right in that slide deck, so then the students can do their ticket out the door or a student-paced quiz or survey very easily. Although you can't embed Google Earth, which would be super sweet, you can embed Google Maps you've already created. So this is great if you want to connect geography and place during a lesson. All right, another one is Satori. Satori is a program that allows you to put together learning and materials to present lessons and create templates that students can use to complete their work. You can embed any type of media into a Satori presentation. So it's great if there's something that you can't embed into Peardeck, but you can still embed the Satori. Another item that you can embed would be TED Talks. You can watch a TED Talk, of course, because you can add video, but you also could add a TED Talk lesson that would allow the students to respond. BlendSpace is a bit like Satori, but it allows you to add different tiles of content that you can end up using with students. All right, another one is Duolingo. You can actually embed your lessons right into the language lesson, which makes it a lot easier to utilize tools like Duolingo. Another one of my favorites is Edpuzzle. You can actually make video clips and create questions and then embed that video into Peardeck. It works really great on student pace mode in Peardeck. If you're a science teacher, then you're extremely familiar with the PhET simulations. As long as you're using HTML5 simulations, you can actually go to that simulation and get that link at the top and actually embed those simulations right in the Peardeck. All right, another one that many of you I'm sure are familiar with is Newsela or Newsela. You can actually use that embedded into a Peardeck, but you can also grab the daily decks from the content library or content orchard from Peardeck's website. I'm sure many of you are familiar with Padlet, and this is another one that you can actually embed right in the Peardeck so students don't have to go someplace else, type in a link or click on a link. It's right there for students to utilize. All right, this one is called National Geographic Map Maker. It's not one that's going to stick around for too long, but while it's available, I highly recommend using it. This one actually is showing language diversity throughout the world, so just a really cool map to show students. And there are so many more websites that you can embed in a Peardeck, so please do just try them. Try a website that you've always used that is really quite frustrating to try to get students to get to quickly. So just my advice is to just check it out.
Thank you for tuning in to Turner Tools. Remember to like and subscribe. I hope you learned something new to help you make awesome happen. Have a fabulous day.